In Hanami Mastery, I often need to do some text manipulation on my Markdown files for different needs. One example of it is of course HTML rendering based on my Markdown files. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I quickly transform Markdown input into HTML output ready to be used by different tools. I'm going to write a CLI script to take my Markdown file content as input and generate HTML out of it. If you're wondering why I need the console tool for this, the answer is pretty interesting. I'm using Podia as a hosting provider for my Hanami Mastery Pro episodes, courses, and all premium content for Rubysts wanting something more. However great their product is, their editor has some caveats. To easily copy and paste the content into Podia and publish effortlessly, I need to remove metadata from Markdown, remove custom callout components, transform my content into HTML, transform my image links to include host information, transform all headers into an H1 header. This sounds like a lot, but Ruby can do wonders for us if used well, so I can live with it for now. To easily transform my Markdown files into HTML, I'm going to work with the Commonmarker gem. Commonmarker is a small library that serves just one purpose: to take Markdown as input and make HTML documents out of it. Maintained by Garen Torikian, it's one of the old but actively curated projects that are just finished but widely used by the majority of Markdown-based projects. At this point, it's used by millions of people directly or indirectly. And if you work with Markdown files, make sure you check it out or even sponsor the project. For this episode, I'm going to work with the code extracted from Hanami Mastery CLI gem. I have my Hanami Mastery CLI gem source code here, which is made using dry CLI under the hood. I've described in detail how dry CLI works in episode 37. Make sure you check it out. The difference here is that I've registered the new command, name pro. This just fetches the episode content using the repository, calls a transformation by passing this content as input, and saves the result to a file in case it's demanded. Today we'll focus on this transformation meat and code it out. Our goal is to take this Markdown input file and produce this HTML out of it. You can see header levels unified here, images are prefixed with the external host, and custom marks started with triple colon had been completely cleared out. After all this, the whole remaining content is transformed into HTML. Now let's make it to work. Let me start by writing a test for this. In the spec directory, I'm going to add a new file name to prospec.rb. Here I'll have two content variables. One is the input, and the other is my expected HTML result. I'll just paste prepared content just to save you from watching how I write meaningful HTML and Markdown on a screen. Then, in the actual text example, I will just call the transformation function and make sure that my actual result is the same as expected. Now having this, let's create the actual transformation file. I'm adding now a transformation file, which is just a simple class with a single call method accepting a Markdown string as an input. Then inside, I'm going to write my transformation logic. First of all, let's check what will happen if I'll make use of the Commonmarker out of the box. If you have Commonmarker installed on your machine, just require it at the top of the script. Then, in the call method, I need to use to_HTML on the Commonmarker class, passing my content as an argument and check the result. Calling this will show us clearly that my Markdown had been successfully transformed into HTML, and in most of cases, it would be good enough. It automatically added header links and replaced my paragraphs and images. However, there are some caveats here I need to work on still. I want to remove everything between the triple colon characters because those are the custom CTA components I don't need in my pro episodes. For that, I'll use a gsub method with a proper regular expression filter. Then, I want to prefix all my images with a host because I'll host images on my own, just in case I'll publish some of those premium episodes in the future. Then, my final transformation for today will be to unify the levels of all the headers in the document. I'll repeat the trick, replacing all header marks with an h1 HTML tag. Now we can check if our transformation works as expected. First, let me run my test. The HTML is rendered, but it seems that my custom components had not been removed from the processing. Let me check what happened. Oh, I forgot about rendering the HTML for already filtered Markdown, not actual input. Now let me try again. This time it's better, but again a little failure. This time I've made a mistake in the regular expression, missing the closing character of the HTML tag. I will add it quickly here and try again. Now it's all green. Yay! Now let me call the CLI command with the actual episode number to verify the actual content. This time I'll add the S flag to save the result to the file on the disk. I have my file listed here, so let me open it in the browser now. And voila! My HTML is properly generated and I can easily copy that to my Podia editor without any manual changes. Again, if anything here is unclear on how things work, I recommend checking episode 37, where I've described commands and dry CLI in detail. Everything seemed to be fine and working though. This is how you can easily generate HTML out of your Markdown files and perform some custom text manipulations with it in your projects. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content in this fashion, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. You can also subscribe to the newsletter and follow me on Twitter. I want to especially thank my recent sponsors, Maxim Gorin, Proudly.com, Akila Siemane, and all the Hanami Mastery Pro subscribers for supporting this project. I really appreciate it. And if you think what we do is useful, check out our GitHub sponsors page or join Hanami Mastery Pro for an access to more learning resources and our private Discord server. This way, you can help us build this initiative and other ideas around to bring Ruby knowledge to the wider audience. As usual, here are two of my previous videos. Thank you all for watching. You are awesome and have a nice rest of your day.